Advertisers. This is Alternative Talk 1150.
Sarah Riley, Senior Mortgage Advisor, NMLS 180007. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 2289, is an equal housing lender. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval.
Welcome to our show. I'm your host, Sarah Riley.
And I'm your co-host, Isaac Stegman.
And this is the Real Deal Radio Show. Welcome, you guys, and thanks for tuning into our show. It's our goal to have industry professionals to share with you not just their success in business, but also take a deeper look and ask more, insightful questions to help us know them better as people, and hopefully will give you some aha moments to take away that you can apply to your life by getting to the real deal.
And we're also very passionate about giving back to our communities and supporting local charities. So the hopes by highlighting charities who are doing some incredible work and getting involved ourselves, we can make a huge impact and change and improve lives. So I want to take just a minute, and we're going to do this at the beginning of every show, is we're going to go around and we're going to ask people, what are you grateful for today? So we'll start with Sarah, and then if we can actually make their mics live here in a minute, we'll do that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so today I am grateful for my sweet little daughter, Peyton, and her just caring, generous heart. She's just so sweet, so.
And my name is Travis Groom. I'm founding partner with the One Real Estate Group, and my gratitude is definitely all about family. Mm-hmm. So we talk a lot about our 15-year-old triplets, and we know the teenage years can be crazy, but they are incredibly entertaining, and I'm grateful for them keeping me on my toes.
Nice. And what about you, Terry?
So I'm Terry Potmeyer with Friends of Youth, and today I am grateful and reflecting on the wonderful people who choose to spend their lives at working in our agency with the young people that we serve. We had an orientation for new employees yesterday, and so grateful for all those people who choose to spend their working lives helping others.
Wow, that's great.
And I'm Isaac Stegman, and I'm really grateful. I was just thinking as we got to the show about the great people that we get to meet here, both on the nonprofit side and on the agent side.
Mm-hmm.
And our affiliates, it's just every week, every time we get to meet people, it's just wonderful, wonderful people. And their stories are something that a lot of times you have no idea when people come on the show what the backstory is and what their organization's all about and who they're serving in the community. So I'm just really grateful for those relationships.
Perfect. Well, so we usually open the show with just, things that are going on in our lives. Anything new with you this week? What's going on with you?
Yeah, well, as most of you guys know, I run a coaching company and media company, and we just added 3 amazing coaches yesterday to our company. We're still working out the details, so I'll be able to make an announcement on those coaches coming up here probably next week.
Yay.
That just allows us to we can probably serve another 100 clients with those 3 people.
Oh, that's so incredible.
Yeah.
Well, you have these deep, cool things happening. And I was just going to tell funny stories about my family. So I don't know if anyone out there can relate to this, but I tend to run a little bit late.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You would never know.
Yeah, every week, here you are.
Here I am, right on time at 12:02. Well, actually, I'm not, a lazy or procrastinator. Maybe I am procrastinator, but, I got so much things to do. It's really hard to fit it all in. I'm just trying to do so much for everyone. And so it's an issue, and my husband is never late. He's always early. And yesterday I'm driving home. We had a date. So every Wednesday we have a standing babysitter, and we just work out together. Or now there's this new little bagel shop that opened by our house. So we work out, and then we go have a drink.
I was going to say then bagels.
And we don't have the bagel. We just do the drink, the carbs in our drink. But it's great. We just talk and catch up on things. And, having 3 kids, you need it. So I'm running late yesterday, and he was, he nails me down. He's got me on Friend Finder. He knows where I'm at. He's like, you're not going to be here until, this time. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there at, what time was it? 5:37. And he was like, okay, 100 push-ups. I'm like, I'll take that bet. Yeah, I didn't get there till 5:47, but being the kind, loving husband that he is, he split the push-ups with me. Yeah, so we just did 50.
That is nice.
I know. Yep. So that was my evening last night. And then I don't know if you've done this, Isaac, with your kids, but we took away the TVs.
Oh yeah.
We unplugged. Do you get to that point where you're done?
Mm-hmm.
So annoyed. Every TV is unplugged in the house.
At first you get freak out mode from them, right? Because they're like, what? like you take away food or something.
Yeah,
from them.
it's like they can't survive.
But then everything gets
Teenagers
better.
would rather lose food than TV.
I know, right? But then you notice kind of this calm come over the house. and
Yeah.
they're like doing creative things.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I know. They're playing together.
Yeah.
They're like, that's what Peyton was doing. Her sweet little heart. She's like writing this whole book. She made this book for her teacher for the end of school about how much she loved and appreciated her. I mean, it's amazing. But the TVs, it's kind of a punishment for the adults too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
it's a good punishment though. It's
It's
almost
nice.
like doing push-ups.
like a cleanse. Yeah, it hurts
it's
so
healthy
good.
for you.
It hurts so good. Yeah. So, well, what else we got going on? Anything going on with your kiddos? You got 3 kiddos too. It's like 3 around
Yeah,
here.
they're getting ready for a dance competition. So they all do
What?
dance and
They
acrobatic
do?
arts, and they're getting ready for a dance competition coming up in Las Vegas, first part of
Seriously?
next month. Yeah.
Wow, you're going to Vegas?
Yeah. Well, Jess is taking them down there for just like 2 days.
Okay.
It's just down and back.
Okay.
And then they have a recital coming up. So they're getting
Wow.
they're getting into that. They're enjoying the nice weather, and we moved out to Granite Falls, so we'd have
Mm-hmm.
a lot more room for them to run around. And so they're spending a lot of time outdoors, running through the woods, and just enjoying the nice weather. It's been
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's been really nice. I know. Well, that's so cool. I didn't even know that. Maybe they
Yeah.
can teach me some skills.
Oh, yeah.
I got some dance moves.
Oh yeah, they could definitely teach you some skills.
Or I could teach them, I mean.
They're all about teaching skills.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into our show today. When we come back from the commercial, we're going to be talking with Travis, a real estate agent with One Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Bellevue. And then on the second half of the show, we have Terry Pottmeyer with Friends of Youth. So stay tuned.
Are you intimidated by the seller's market we're in and unsure of how to secure a home in a multiple offer situation? The Riley Home Team with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation has helped hundreds of buyers successfully secure the property of their dreams, even in this challenging market. A pre-approval letter from the Riley Home Team carries more weight because we have the reputation of closing loans quickly with our state-of-the-art technology known as the Ultimate Home Buying Experience. To learn more about our premier service and technology to help you secure the home of your dreams, contact us today at Riley Home Team at fairwaymc.com or visit the website rileyhometeam.com. Sarah Riley, Senior Mortgage Advisor, NMLS 180007. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 2289, is an equal housing lender. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval.
Isaac Stegman is the founder and president of Kaizen Coaching. His organization coaches some of the top real estate agents and loan originators in the country. Having recruited and trained over 1,000 sales consultants, Isaac has over 20 years of sales and leadership experience and has consistently been in the top 1% of his industry. Isaac now spends most of his time speaking, training, and helping elite performers align daily habits and mindset with their future goals and greater purpose. Isaac also recently launched the Seattle edition of Real Producers Magazine, which serves to inspire, inform, and connect the top agents in the market. Find out more about Isaac and Kaizen at www.kaizen.org.
Friends of Youth has been helping youth and young adults since 1951. Today, Friends of Youth provides foster care, shelter, outreach, transitional housing, counseling, and support for youth throughout the Puget Sound region. Friends of Youth believes every young person should have the opportunity to succeed. Working with youth and families, Friends of Youth provides the relationships, resources, and skills young people need for personal growth and success. Visit friendsofyouth.org to support our kids.
Wondering what's on next on Alternative Talk 1150? Check out 1150kknw.com.
You are tuning into the Real Deal Radio Show live on 1050 KKNW. We're here with Travis Groom, and he's a founding partner of the One Real Estate Group at KW Bellevue. Travis moved here almost 3 years ago from North Carolina, and you'll notice his attractive southern drawl. Travis began the search for how to make a positive impact in the real estate industry, and he realized that building a team was the best way to go.
Absolutely.
So Travis, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
thank you
welcome.
very
We're glad
much.
to have you.
Thank
Now
you.
I'm very conscious of this accent.
I love it.
I had a conversation with someone at it was a global luxury summit, and she asked me where I live, and I said in the Seattle area, and she said, no, seriously, where do you live? And I said in Seattle, and she was like, no, seriously, where do you live? And I said, are you trying to ask me where I'm from? Because that's just a different question.
Yeah.
I don't know what Seattle sounds like because everybody's kind of from everywhere, but
We think we have
evidently
no
it's-
accent.
We don't, do we?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Some people have said we do.
We do?
I don't
Yeah,
think it's an
weird.
accent. I think
We
a
just talk
combination.
normally.
Yeah.
We're the only like bland, normal. No
That was
accent
Isaac's way of
people.
calling me abnormal.
I like it.
That's
I
really
think
what that
it's
was.
calling you special. I mean,
He is
There you go.
special, and it's. I'll try not to talk with a southern accent. I lived in the South for a few years when I was in the military, and then after. And whenever I get in a conversation with someone from there, it's really hard not to revert back.
It definitely comes out. And
So-
when I get tired, I notice it more. Like I
Yeah.
kind of draw certain letters out. And
Well, that's
Yeah.
what it sounds like. Is your mouth is tired? That's
Yeah.
kind of a southern accent.
I'm just, hey, y'all. Let's
So
just
maybe
get
I'll
that
pick
out
a
of the way.
different. We'll pick a different accent. I'll talk like a New Yorker or something.
As long as you don't say bless your heart.
Oh my
That's a
goodness.
whole
We know what
different
that
meaning.
means.
Oh my
We
goodness.
know what that means.
I wouldn't be that patronizing on the
No.
show. So, Travis, wanted to ask you a few questions. So, for you, you've got a unique perspective on the market and on luxury. You primarily focus on the luxury market here on the east side.
Mhm.
What is luxury for you? What defines luxury?
Well, it's a different definition for me and what we're kind of seeing evolve, especially as we talk about the millennial generation coming into what is known as the luxury real estate market. It's not defined by price anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We used to say that if something cost a certain amount of money, that was luxury.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing a real shift in how we define luxury as being more about the experience. And, with the millennial generation coming in so tech savvy and everything is instant gratification and they're really self-educated and you can answer your own questions with Google or, all of those sources that we have. In the real estate world, we have to be that much sharper and we have to know more about neighborhoods and different things that the client might want us to know and expect us to know. But my focus has been here with the real estate market and the luxury segment of that really being all about what we're calling the lock and leave lifestyle. And that for me is not about like square footage. It's not about, we used to think these big mansions those were the rich people. That was luxury.
Yeah.
And now it's about lifestyle. It's about
Mhm.
experience. It's about memories. It's about being able to, have a condo that they can lock the door and go travel somewhere else or be with family or, build memories in life. And we're seeing that at earlier and younger ages now because people are, coming into wealth a lot sooner in life than has been in past generations.
Yeah.
So
Who wouldn't
that's-
want that, right?
right.
Yeah. I like that
live
lock
life.
and leave.
Lock and leave. But, that, and again, it's about the different definition of, it really is about that client and kind of their lifestyle. And, when we talk about airplanes and boats and cars and things like that, there's always going to be somebody that can have a bigger plane or a bigger boat. So
Mhm.
that's not really the definition of status anymore. And again, it's more about that experiential, like I'm going to go travel or go see the world or, build those memories with your family or friends. And those are the things that can't be duplicated.
And I know you have a really unique background that leads to high levels of customer service and expectations for yourself, your team. I'm sure the clients have the same expectations. And we'll talk a little bit about your background. I also want to talk about your childhood. Like, how did you get to be who you are today? Where did that all start? And we don't want the show to just be about transactions and current market trends and stuff. That's great.
Thank
You've got
goodness.
lots of good stuff to talk about there. But I want to get to know the people. And I've gotten to know you pretty well over the last few months. Had the pleasure of that. So how did you grew up in North Carolina?
Yes.
Right? So tell me
Yes.
about your childhood.
Oh, is this like a therapy session? Should we, there's no couch in the
It
studio.
probably will
Yeah.
turn into that. Yeah.
No, I grew up in North Carolina, a little more of a conservative environment. My parents divorced when I was very young, and my mom was a school teacher, single parent, and I celebrate her in every regard. As she says, it was a lot of organized chaos, but I think that's what childhood is with
Yeah.
everybody. And now that our triplets are teenagers, I can
You can
certainly
relate.
appreciate that. Yeah, I literally think back and I'm like, oh, I hope I wasn't this bad. But there are a lot of really great moments that come out of that too. And I think that my grandmother was one of those really kind of pillars of my life. And I remember her having an expression that said, there's a reason that the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield, but both are equally necessary.
Ooh.
And I think that's kind of part of who I am. Like, I really do always give credit to where you've come from and where you've been in life, because it has to play a part in where you're going.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of a little snapshot of who I am as a person and where that kind of comes from.
Wow. When did you move here?
This July will be 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
we've been here a few years now. Not long enough to lose the accent, evidently.
Well, I don't think you ever should. It's kind of like, your little staple of who
There
you
you go.
are.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I
There you
like
go.
it.
Yeah.
And you didn't grow. A lot of people have maybe the fallacy that luxury agents all come from money and that they all know rich people. And you didn't have you didn't know. You didn't grow up here. You didn't come
No.
from money and have that
No.
background. So
No, and I think that's a good thing.
yeah.
I think so,
You know,
too.
we talk about, your big why and people dreaming big and don't let yourself get in your own way. And we tend to kind of always be our own biggest barriers in life. And I just don't have that. It's not an arrogance thing. It is, I think, coming from nothing, I got nothing to lose. Like I can only go bigger and better. And if things work, then great, they succeed forever. If I fail, then I fail once and I learn from it and I move on. And that's kind of where that comes from. I think, part of that probably is the childhood therapy too.
that fearlessness, though, is a pretty special thing. And you see that in
Yeah.
a lot of top producing people in any industry is they've
gotta
either
go.
conquered that fear
Yeah.
or they got nothing to lose and so they're
Yeah.
just going for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and that's that risk reward. And, everything we do in sales, we're meeting strangers all the time. We're having to evolve, especially in the real estate world where we're showing houses and we know nothing about the house until we get there, short of what's in the MLS, but we're having to convince someone that it is or is not the best place for them to build a home and a life and memories and all of those things. So it goes well beyond the structure. And I think that does come down to personality and being able to kind of think on your feet and be honest. And, the integrity part of our business is certainly necessary. But at the end of the day, everything we do is about people. Everything. And it's not the structure. It's not the dollar value. It's not the commissions. It's not any of that. It is about the people. And you can tell the people that get that, and you can tell the people that have maybe lost sight of that.
Yeah, you definitely can see the agents that are more just transaction oriented versus really caring about their clients.
And who doesn't want to have fun with what we do? I mean,
yeah.
we spend a lot of time at work. I mean, you're in the mortgage world, you're in the coaching world. We're about people,
Mm-hmm.
everything we do. And when you get that, it makes it a lot more fun too.
Yeah. So speaking of the people that you're around, who have been the influences on your life, your career in real estate? Have you had mentors or people that influenced you in that way?
Oh my God, a ton. I think everybody. Every single person we meet in life is an influencer in some way. And again, I go back to my grandmother, probably in one of the more profound people in my life. But just, she always said it's not a choice. You either add value to somebody's life or you take it away. And it's not an intention. It's not a cause and effect. It is literally just you can choose to be nice and be kind and add value to somebody's day because you don't know what they're going through either or not. And I try to make those choices every day consciously to add value to somebody's life in some way, and I hope that they do the same for me.
I'm loving your grandma.
She's
a wise woman.
I'm telling you, she.
I think
she's
I'm going to write that. I'm writing that down.
We'll have a segment in the show like stories about grandma.
Yeah.
So one of our Chelsea is
Maybe
one
we
of our
should-
team members. I called my grandmother's. It was Mima, and so she has a little nickname. She said, "Is that a Mima-ism?" Because sometimes they just come out, and I'm like, "Yeah, actually, it is."
That's great.
So why did you choose when you moved here? Why did you choose immediately to start building a team?
Well, it's kind of that ripple effect. If you throw a single rock into a lake, you get a little band of ripples. If you throw a big handful of rocks, you get a bigger band of a lot of ripples. And I wanted to make a presence here. And again, it kind of goes back to surrounding yourself with people that add value to your life and that you can hopefully add value to theirs. And I started meeting people in the transaction part of real estate that were in different areas or had different backgrounds or experiences or expertise levels. And we all just kind of started going, hey, we should work together. We should, maybe do this together. And that's what it really wasn't like, let's go out and build a team of 50 people in a year. I mean, I'm excited that we have 9 people, and in March was our first year anniversary as a group.
Wow.
And those 9 of us, we get a lot of work done, and we have a lot of fun along the way. And I'm very proud that we're the number 2 volume in sales in the Bellevue Market Center. So, like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
if you put something together that works and it gets the result and it's a lot of fun, I don't know what's wrong with that.
It's a huge win. Can you tell me a little? I'm kind of curious. Like, what's your team structure like? Who are your team members, your players?
Everybody's a player, and we all have different roles. And
Yeah.
again, we're all in different places in our careers. We're all in different places in our lives. Some of us have kids, some don't. Some of us moved here from across the country. Some moved from around the world. So we
Wow.
all have that relatability, and that really was the intentional part of it. When, it could just be me, and I could relate to the people that I like, and people could relate to me, or we could have a group of us that, we have that diversity and we have that appeal that, wherever our client is in life and whatever their vision and their goals are, we've got a pretty good chance of either having shared that experience or being able to relate to it enough that we can help them make great decisions and be beneficial to them.
I love that because you can't be all things to all people.
Right.
So,
But just be great at who you are.
yeah.
And somebody will take a piece of that and hopefully, it'll serve a purpose in their life, and we can do the same.
That's so cool.
And we do that for each other a lot too, because we really do have like mini counseling sessions. And we have, hey, this is going a little sideways. How can I
Yeah.
reel this back in? And what would you do in this case? And, sales trainings and those kind of things and coaching opportunities. All of those things are different for us too. So we support each other that way. And it's kind of that rising tides float all boats mentality that as we get better and bigger as a group, then that success will come to all of us in our own lives in our own way.
That's really unique to real estate. There's not a lot of groups like that. Very, very few.
I think, thank you for that. And
Mhm.
that's kind of where we hoped that would come from.
Yeah, it's great.
So I know one of your main specialties is negotiation. You're a very good negotiator. I've been on the other side of that.
Can't tell.
What do you think is the most important factor in negotiating successfully in a transaction?
Relationships. 100% relationships. When people talk about business in any regard, whether it's buying a car, buying a house, buying a shirt, buying shoes, whatever it is you're buying, if you have a better understanding of who you're working with and come at it from that standpoint of how we're going to get to the finish line together instead of the us against them or that mentality, you've got a better chance of success and it feels better doing it. And that's the relationship part of what I hope, are masterful at as we are in our own roles and always get better at.
I totally agree.
I do too.
We featured you recently in April on the cover of our Real Producers magazine.
Yes.
And for us, it's more than it's not just a magazine, it's a community. I believe that the best agents around are going to be the ones that survive the test of time and the changing markets and everything else that's coming in the real estate world. And so we're really working on fostering relationships within that community that are strong and that people get to know. And not everyone's going to agree with or get along with everyone, right?
What?
But it's finding. I'm sure there's no one you don't get along with. But there's, it's about finding those people and finding the human side of them, and not just this is someone on the other side of the transaction who one time we had a disagreement or I didn't like the way they did this. But when you get to understand that this is a person,
right,
and maybe something was going on with their day or whatever, there's more grace, there's more humanity that comes with those conversations.
Absolutely. And I certainly appreciate that, not having been from here and growing up with people in those kind of legacy relationships of people naturally knowing that I'm in the real estate market or what my specialty is. The relationships do become more important. I've shared the story with my team several months ago with an experience we had with a client, especially in the Seattle market being as demanding as it is. People don't want to overpay. You think you have to waive everything to win an offer. And I actually had made a phone call to the listing agent for a property that was on the market, and my buyers knew what their budget was, and I had to kind of stay true to all of that. And I asked the listing agent, what's most appealing to your seller other than,
Money.
all cash and $12 million over list price or something like that? And she said, I'll be honest with you, they've just gotten a divorce, and it was pushing kind of the holiday season, and she said she is absolutely freaking out about having to move her 10-year-old into an apartment and already going through the separation of the parents, but putting a Christmas tree up in an apartment was something that was terrifying to the seller, who was now a single mom. And my clients were in a corporate apartment and had some time, and I said, listen, we'll give you a great offer, but we're not going to overpay, and we'll let her stay there through Valentine's Day if she wants to. And we won over almost 10 different offers higher than ours.
Wow.
Because we were letting her mom, or the client, stay in the house with her son and put up a Christmas tree.
What a great lesson, though, in asking a perfect question that gets to, the heart of the person, and it's not always just about the money. In a lot of cases, it doesn't come to that.
Most cases, it's probably not.
I mean, we had 10 other offers that were higher than ours, but nobody bothered to say this woman is selling her house, and that's already disruptive enough. And now to think about her 10-year-old and being in an apartment, as a parent, that's the core of who you are, that you want to protect your children. And we had the time. And that became our negotiating tool, to be able to kind of build that relationship with them and let them feel like they were, enjoying the holidays as they would have otherwise.
And everybody won, because then your clients didn't have to overpay, and they got a house in their budget.
They got their dream home.
Yeah, within their budget.
Right.
So
we're coming up on break. I wanted to ask you one other question, because every time I see you, you're wearing amazing shoes.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it.
This is so funny. We just talked about
it's like a Hallmark thing. It's I've talked to other people and like, what's with Travis and the shoes? And I know there's a story behind it. So why don't you share what's with the shoes?
Okay, so the shoe story, the real shoe story, is in the 5th grade. first day of school, you know, there's that gel that comes in a little tube with a sponge on it that you're supposed to use for when you get a scuff on your tennis shoes. And again, single parent, school teacher mom, we did not have money for brand new shoes to start the school year. So I actually painted my entire tennis shoes to make them look completely white so that maybe they would kind of look new. Yeah. See, thanks for that.
Yeah, very
I was very creative.
You were.
But there was a student who I remember his name very well, but he was sitting beside me in the hall waiting for the first bell to ring, and he actually licked his finger and swiped my shoe, and he was like, "Those are your old shoes." And I was mortified. I was angry. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated, all of those things.
Yeah.
And so now fast forward, I'm far from, you know, 5th grade age, but I made a commitment to myself that in my life I would work hard. And when I got to a position in my career that I could afford a pair of shoes, not because of the brand or the price, but just because I like them, that I would have them. And that's kind of my thing. So every day when I start my day and I put my shoes on, I remember that I've got big shoes to fill. And that's more of a symbolic thing for me than the actual shoe, but that's where it comes from.
Wow. That's an amazing story. I can sort of relate, but not about the old shoes, but I have a shoe thing too.
Yeah, I can tell.
Not as deep as you.
Yeah, I can tell.
But you can tell just by looking at me or looking at my shoes.
No, I saw your shoes.
So I have really big feet. Like no one might know this, but I have huge feet.
No, you really don't.
No.
You have the absolute perfect
size
feet.
for me, right?
Because they connect your legs to the ground.
Thank
and that's
you.
exactly what
I'm
they're
really,
supposed to
really
do.
stable. I'm a very stable person, right?
Yeah.
But when I played basketball in elementary school, and I had to, you have to wear those like big white tennis shoes, high top shoes, and the ref came up to me and said, "Those aren't your shoes." I'm like, "Yeah, they are." He's like, "No, your feet are humongous. Those aren't your shoes. No way."
What?
Yeah.
You're like, thanks for that. Yeah.
So I have to wear cute shoes all the time.
But nobody ever said that a ref had social tact. That is clearly not.
Obviously not. So yeah, I can appreciate.
And
the
all the
shoes.
refs out there, please don't call into the show and complain. There are a lot of great ones.
There are a lot. Thank you for volunteering for school sports. We appreciate it.
Exactly.
Well, it was great having you on the show,
Well, thank you.
Travis. I feel like we
Thanks.
could just keep talking and talking.
Yes, let's.
All right. We'll have to have you back for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to The Real Deal radio show. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Terry with Friends of Youth. So stay tuned.
Are you intimidated by the seller's market we're in and unsure of how to secure a home in a multiple offer situation? The Riley Home Team with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation has helped hundreds of buyers successfully secure the property of their dreams, even in this challenging market. A pre-approval letter from the Riley Home Team carries more weight because we have the reputation of closing loans quickly with our state-of-the-art technology known as the Ultimate Home Buying Experience. To learn more about our premier service and technology to help you secure the home of your dreams, contact us today at Riley Home Team at fairwaymc.com or visit the website rileyhometeam.com. Sarah Riley, Senior Mortgage Advisor, NMLS 180007. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 2289, is an equal housing lender. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval.
Isaac Stegman is the founder and president of Kaizen Coaching. His organization coaches some of the top real estate agents and loan originators in the country. Having recruited and trained over 1,000 sales consultants, Isaac has over 20 years of sales and leadership experience and has consistently been in the top 1% of his industry. Isaac now spends most of his time speaking, training, and helping elite performers align daily habits and mindset with their future goals and greater purpose. Isaac also recently launched the Seattle edition of Real Producers Magazine, which serves to inspire, inform, and connect the top agents in the market. Find out more about Isaac and Kaizen at www.kaizen.org.
Friends of Youth has been helping youth and young adults since 1951. Today, Friends of Youth provides foster care, shelter, outreach, transitional housing, counseling, and support for youth throughout the Puget Sound region. Friends of Youth believes every young person should have the opportunity to succeed. Working with youth and families, Friends of Youth provides the relationships, resources, and skills young people need for personal growth and success. Visit friendsofyouth.org to support our kids.
Alternative Talk 1150, here to uplift your day.
All right, welcome back, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Real Deal Radio Show live on 1150 KKNW. We provide our listeners with information from business professionals to bring solutions to your daily life and local charities to provide you with the opportunities to give back to your community as well. And today we're here with Terry Pottmeyer. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you.
Terry is was just recently promoted to the President and Chief Executive Officer of Friends of Youth in August. 2011, not that recent. No. After serving as both Chief Operating Officer and Chief Program Officer. Prior to joining Friends of Youth, she was the Executive Director at Urban Artworks. Terry has served on the board of several not-for-profit organizations, including the Atlantic Street Center, Page Ahead, and the Washington State Bar Foundation, and has been appointed by the King County Executive to serve on the county's CYAB. What does that stand for?
Children Youth Advisory Board.
Thank you. And the Youth Action Plan. So there's a lot more things. She's got the most very impressive bio, but welcome. Can you tell us something about you personally? Have you lived in the area for a while?
I have lived in the same house for 34 years here on the east side.
Oh, really?
Raised 4 sons and
wow.
Yeah, it's been here since college.
Wow, 4 boys.
4 boys.
Yeah.
You don't get Fords off a Chevy line.
I love it. How old are your sons?
My sons are all grown and launched, so
Yeah.
they range in age from 22 to 32.
Do you have any grandkids?
I do.
You
I have
do?
3.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it's so
Any
wonderful.
girls?
Yes.
Oh,
2 of
good.
them are girls.
Oh, good.
It's awesome.
Good. That is awesome. I know my husband, he has all sisters, and I thought for sure we were going to have a boy, but all girls.
All girls.
Yeah, it's just that thing. So I'm glad you got a girl in there.
It's great.
Well, welcome. Can you just share with us,
Thank you.
kind of give us an oversight of what is Friends of Youth?
So Friends of Youth, you'd have to go back to 1950 to understand the beginning of the organization. It was at that time that the Seattle area, King County community, was experiencing a shortage of caring foster homes for children in need of support. So the call went out. There was actually an article in the Seattle Times, where are the homes for the children of our community? And there were 10 caring individuals who sat down in a church basement, the University Congregational Church in Seattle, and said, we're going to respond to that need in our community. And in 1951, they formed Friends of Youth.
Wow, 1951.
1951, 68 years ago, and we are still going strong and still providing foster care in the community.
Okay. And so how large is your guys' organization now? Who do you serve, and how many people do you have employed, volunteer versus employee?
So we started as a child welfare organization. We continue to provide child welfare services in the community. Over the course of the 68 years since that founding, we've really responded to the needs of children in the community who are really struggling with some challenging things in their lives. So today we are a $17 million organization with about 280 staff. We have programs primarily in East King County, but we also have some programming in Seattle and in Snohomish County. We employ about, as I said, 280 people because 24 hours a day somebody is awake and on duty at Friends of Youth supporting the children and youth of the community.
Wow. So what kind of programs do you guys offer for the youth?
So in our child welfare work, we do provide foster care. Our state has an extended foster care program, and we provide extended foster care for refugee and immigrant youth. We also provide shelter care for children who are runaway or homeless under the age of 18. That's all in our child welfare division. In our response to the needs of the community in the 1980s, we became a youth and family service organization.
Okay.
And in King County, every single school district community has a community-based youth and family service organization that supports those families and children as they grow to adulthood. So we support 3 school district communities, Snoqualmie Valley, Riverview, and Issaquah. We do that in a variety of ways with counseling support. We're in the schools during the school day. We work with kids on prevention and intervention. We do home visiting programs for very young families as they're just beginning their parenting journey. And then in the 1980s, we had the first young people knocking on our door because they were experiencing homelessness. We found those very first knocks on the door were for pregnant and parenting young moms who really did not have a place to go. And they turned to us and said, could you help? And we did. And from that beginning in the late 80s, that has been the area of largest growth for our agency. And today we offer a full continuum of support for young people who are experiencing homelessness in King County.
So do you guys have just like a, is it temporary housing or for homelessness, or Do you put them in full term, or how do you support them?
So we really start with what I think of as the crisis response. So
Okay.
a young person is experiencing disruption, they're experiencing homelessness. You need the basics. You
Mhm.
need a safe place to be. You need food.
Yep.
You need shelter.
Yep.
So Friends of Youth provides drop-in during the day for young people. They can
Okay.
come to us and find support. We have the only shelters overnight on the east side.
Okay.
So we have under 18 shelter for 18 to 24-year-olds. We have counseling and support services. So as soon as we can get young people to stabilize and get those basic needs met, then we turn with them to walk with them on their journey to self-sufficiency and stability.
Okay.
And in that work, we have housing, employment support, education support, and social, emotional, and health support for them to become happy, healthy, stable, self-sufficient, and realize their dreams.
Wow. That's so incredible. We've had a lot of charities on the show, and I think what's just so sad for me, I mean, everything, there's a lot of people that need help with the youth, you know,
Yeah.
being a homeless youth. It's just heartbreaking that they don't have anywhere else to go. So really, it's really hard for me to talk about. I get super emotional about my kids myself, but how do they find you? Do you guys reach out to the schools? Are you guys doing outreach to the homeless youth in the area, or do they come to you?
Both.
Okay.
We have found that young people find us through our website
Really?
quite a lot. And in fact, we sometimes will get calls from young people who are in Washington, D.C. because they need shelter and they Google Shelter Washington and
Oh.
they get connected to Friends of Youth. We know how to refer them to support in their own communities. We do a significant amount of intentional outreach. So we do work with the
Okay.
schools. We do have cards that we give to everybody. I'll be giving one to each of you because having heard our story, you are now on our outreach team. And we hope that you'll be able to turn to a young person in crisis and say, there is somebody who can support you to get through this and to get on with the things that you want to have in your life.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you know, as far as youth goes and homelessness, what do you think is the driving factor? Because we've had other charities on talking about the issues that's driving them to be homeless. What are you seeing is the main cause?
So for youth and young adults, the primary contributor to an experience of homelessness is conflict at home.
Yeah.
Children don't leave home because that sounds like a thrill or a fun way to spend the
Right.
night out in the cold, shivering, wet, without something warm around you or something to eat. But we find that it's mostly conflict within the family unit. If we can support families in raising healthy children, I think that we could do a lot more to address the instability that causes kids to experience homelessness.
So really the issue's at home. Like there needs to be more intervention before the kids are going out and that's their last resort. There needs to be more intervention with the parents resolving issues.
Yes, our vision is that we create a world where every young person has what they need to succeed, and everybody needs that caring home, that
Mhm.
caring support, people around you who believe in you, who give you the opportunity to fail, and which is how we learn,
Mhm.
and to get back up again. Every single young person should have that in their life, and that really is our vision. And we would like to go out of business because we have created that vision in our community.
Absolutely. I love how huge your vision is, too.
Yeah.
That's really inspiring.
So are you guys needing help? I mean, how can people get involved? What can they do to volunteer, or what things do you guys need?
Yes, sometimes in speaking about our work, it appears that we don't need help. And
Yeah.
in reality, we don't do any of this work alone.
Right, of course
not
not.
at all. And when people feel that they want to respond, I think you should respond from the place that gives you joy in your life. So if you love to cook, 365 nights a year, we need somebody to bring dinner to our shelters. So if that's
Wow.
your gift, we would love to have you join our dinner donor program. If you have an extra bedroom and a caring heart, we really need to open more doors to foster children. Just like in the 1950s, we're currently experiencing a dearth of foster homes in our state.
Yeah.
We really need more foster parents. So that's another way people could
Mhm.
help. If you love to teach, we need tutors for our foster kids. Pretty much, if you go to the place that gives you joy, there's a way for you to give that gift back and support the children that we serve.
Wow, do you guys have a lot of volunteers now?
We do. We have over 600 volunteers in a year, but we have lots of opportunity for more.
Oh, that's incredible. So you must work pretty closely with some of the foster programs then, placing kids in homes.
We do. We license and recruit foster homes, and then once children are placed in those homes, we support both that family and that foster child to make sure that is a great placement for them and to help them find a way to a forever home. For some of them, that might lead to adoption. For some of them, that might and they might be able to return to their own birth family. And that's the goal of foster care, is to make sure kids have forever homes.
What does it take to be a foster parent? Because I think a lot of people, myself included, we think about that. We think, gosh, it's got to be so incredibly hard to get certified and, all of that. What is the process if somebody really had a heart for that?
If you have a heart and an extra bedroom, you let an agency know or let the state of Washington know. You can go either route. You will go through a series of trainings that really are very clear about the kinds of things that you need to know in order to effectively parent a foster child. You've got lots of support in getting through that process of education and licensure. So there's a licensing process. Once licensed, then if, for instance, Friends of Youth is the agency that you're licensed through, we help you evaluate which child will fit best into your life and into your world. We try to make sure that the matches are ones that will lead to success for both the family and the child. It's not as hard as it seems.
I'm glad you added that.
Yeah.
So what ages are like the average children that come to you guys that are homeless and need services?
So we see mostly teens through young adults.
Okay.
Our focus really is on about age 16 up through age 24.
Okay. Because in that age range, going into foster care, they usually either foster out of the system, right, or they're trying to just be able to live on their own, right, or maybe go back to their family, but not necessarily get adopted at that age.
Correct.
Yeah.
That generally young people experiencing homelessness at that age are not candidates for the child welfare system.
Right.
So we try to find other solutions and give them support so that they can find that stability on their own. Sometimes people say, Friends of Youth does so much. How do you describe it? And I say, we just are family for kids who don't have that in their lives. And all of our programs really support kids in having the family they need to succeed.
So you said that you were involved in the schools and supporting kids. What do you guys do there, and how do you see them, get help through the schools?
So we are a licensed behavioral health provider, which means we do substance abuse services as well as mental health counseling. We are partnering with kids who are experiencing a lot of challenge, depression, suicidality, anxiety, trying to remove the stigma of seeking out support when you're having a behavioral health need in your community. We really want to be there, be accessible to kids during the school day, down the street. We want kids to know that there are ways they can learn how to give themselves resiliency. So when they're confronted by a bully or by sadness or by grieving, that we can help give them the tools they need to be resilient and to solve those problems, because we all encounter those things in our life.
Yeah, absolutely. So are they going to their counselor at school then and then getting connected with you that way?
We do have counseling at school. We also have outpatient counseling in each of the communities that we serve.
Okay. Wow. Well, is there anything else that's going on with you guys? Do you have anything coming up or anything you want to share? Any events or anything?
Rather than focus on events, I'd like to focus on individuals. We've talked a lot today about relationship and people.
Oh, perfect.
And I want to empower everybody who does have a caring heart for children to feel empowered to be a caring adult, because it really is true that it takes a village to raise a healthy child. And I want to empower anybody who's listening to find your passion and connect as a caring adult in the lives of another young person. You will never know the impact that you could have in their lives.
That's absolutely true. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We're going to have information on social media, Facebook, on the Real Deal radio show, right?
Yep.
You can find information on Friends of Youth. So if you have, a calling to go help and get involved, you absolutely can reach out to them. So thank you so much. And when we come back from the break today, we're going to have the Sarah Skinny. I have some exciting news to share with you guys, and I'm sure Isaac has something. He always has something to share. So stay tuned.
Friends of Youth has been helping youth and young adults since 1951. Today, Friends of Youth provides foster care, shelter, outreach, transitional housing, counseling, and support for youth throughout the Puget Sound region. Friends of Youth believes every young person should have the opportunity to succeed. Working with youth and families, Friends of Youth provides the relationships, resources, and skills young people need for personal growth and success. Visit friendsofyouth.org to support our kids.
Are you intimidated by the seller's market we're in and unsure of how to secure a home in a multiple offer situation? The Riley Home Team with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation has helped hundreds of buyers successfully secure the property of their dreams, even in this challenging market. A pre-approval letter from the Riley Home Team carries more weight because we have the reputation of closing loans quickly with our state-of-the-art technology known as the Ultimate Home Buying Experience. To learn more about our premier service and technology to help you secure the home of your dreams, contact us today at Riley Home Team at fairwaymc.com or visit the website rileyhometeam.com. Sarah Riley, Senior Mortgage Advisor, NMLS 180007. Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 2289, is an equal housing lender. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval.
Isaac Stegman is the founder and president of Kaizen Coaching. His organization coaches some of the top real estate agents and loan originators in the country. Having recruited and trained over 1,000 sales consultants, Isaac has over 20 years of sales and leadership experience and has consistently been in the top 1% of his industry. Isaac now spends most of his time speaking, training, and helping elite performers align daily habits and mindset with their future goals and greater purpose. Isaac also recently launched the Seattle edition of Real Magazine, which serves to inspire, inform, and connect the top agents in the market. Find out more about Isaac and Kaizen at www.kaizen.org.
Alternative Talk, 1150 on AM, 98.9 HD3 on HD, 1150kknw.com on the web.
Hi, welcome back. It's the Real Deal Radio Show live on 1150 KKNW. It's now time for the Sarah Skinny, where we give you the skinny on events in our local economy, things that can affect your wallet, a book you might need to read or listen to, or anything that we've got going on we're sharing in the hopes to add some value to your life. And today, I wanted to share a big event that I have coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, what's going on? Push-up challenge?
No, I did the push-ups. I am always doing a challenge. I guess I must love a challenge because as soon as one's over, I start a new one. It's all about really the crap talking. I like to talk a lot of crap.
Well, you started hosting with me, so there's a challenge to do that. And, you know, we have a list, though, of words we can't say on the air. So
yeah, we do.
We minimize the crap talk.
Yeah, we try and keep it to a minimum. But no, for reals, I am competing in a women's only CrossFit event this Saturday with a team, and I'm also sponsoring the event. Awesome. So very cool. I'm one of the sponsors, and I'm raising money for Jubilee Women's Center. So come down and check us out. You can watch. It's really, really exciting.
Where is it at?
So it's at CrossFit Devotion in Covington. And it's a big deal. There's 200 women competing in the event.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like 60 teams, I think. So it's a long day. I actually just got the whole itinerary for the day, but while I was driving here, and I was looking at it. Yeah, it starts at 7 check-in, and the podium is until 5. And obviously, I'm going to make the podium. So it's a long day.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah, I am in the scaled division. So there's a RX and a scaled division. But with 2 other girls on our team, and it's going to be a blast, and it also raise money for a good cause. And
so what is the Jubilee Women's Center?
The Jubilee Women's Center helps women, get back on their feet, helps them with counseling and a place to stay. And if you haven't heard about it, you should go to their website. It's amazing, supporting women that are homeless or struggling, have gone through abuse, or, all the stories are, it's life-changing for them. It's amazing what they do there to help women. And so because it was a women's only event, I thought, why not help more women?
Yeah.
Right, from the event. It's empowering women. So the name of the event is, Strong is Beautiful, which
I love it.
So many meanings, right? So cool. So we have all but pictures up on our social media stuff after the event, because we have a pretty funny team name, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so,
and you're gonna have a trophy, obviously. In the pictures,
of course, I'm gonna have a medal
Even
that
if you
I
have
purchased.
To bring one from home.
Yeah, I actually was thinking that. I'm like, I wonder if I have time to order medals, like for the kids' t-ball for at least my team.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Everybody gets a medal. on my team.
On my team.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it'll be really fun. And so anyways, it's pretty cool. And CrossFit Devotion down in Covington is such a cool, unique gym that just really uplifts and supports people. So if you live in that area, the South End, you should go check it out anyways, just because it's a really cool community of people.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, you
I've met
have?
Jake, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Didn't even know that about you.
Yeah, well, I used to live in Covington.
That's right. You
Yeah.
don't anymore.
And I didn't. No,
No,
I don't.
you live
anymore.
far away.
Yeah.
So
I'm
have
a
you worked out
trader.
there? Did you work out at CrossFit?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay.
No, that was when I was a firefighter down
Oh,
in
okay.
Kent.
Okay.
And it was right after I got hurt at a fire, and so
Uh-huh.
I was kind of looking around at options. I think Ronnie is the one that had told me about it originally.
Probably. He's like a lifetime member, Ronnie.
Yeah.
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 He's like part owner of the gym. No, just kidding. Yeah, Jake runs a great I've sponsored quite a few events there. I love helping and supporting that group of people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you train a lot for the event?
no. I mean, no, I didn't. Well, we trained a couple times together, and I'm just like a natural athlete, really.
You don't even have to train. You're one of
No.
those. You just show up and
I just
and
show
be
up and
awesome.
win every day. No.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna have to come down maybe for that event.
You should. You
Yeah.
can be cheering me on. Yeah, we did train a little bit. We're I mean, I don't want to tell you the team name, but we're literally like laser focused on beating only one team.
Okay.
Yeah, one person in particular that we are there to beat. So as long as I beat her, I won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once we're off air, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. So you should come down there. What else? Do you have anything?
Well,
to
if
add?
people can,
yeah.
if people want to help out, just they can't
Oh.
make it to the event, but they want to help out.
Yeah, so I did just put on Facebook, and I'm going to share it on our radio page as well, The Real Deal. But you can always, Sarah Riley, I'm Sarah Riley, Riley Home Team, and I did put on there the event, and so, a donate button for Jubilee Women's Center. So you can go on there and donate, even if you're not going to the event. So we're trying to raise money.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
help them out.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
medals, right? Isn't it?
No, I will spot the medals.
All right. That sounds like a fair trade.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to chat about was I started reading this this new book, and I was not originally wanting to do. I'm teaching a negotiations class for one of my corporate clients, and so I picked up the book on a recommendation. I get recommended books all the time because I think if you're a coach, you need to read every book.
Totally.
And so the book is called Never Split the Difference, and I was recommended probably by 5 people that I read the book. And so I finally just said, all right, I'm teaching a negotiations class. I should probably read this book. It's actually a book by the FBI's former chief hostage negotiator.
Wow.
And they only ever have one at a time. Like there's only ever one in the world chief hostage negotiator that deals with the terrorists and, big overseas
I didn't know that.
things. Yeah.
Wow.
And so
No pressure.
yeah. So yeah, those are way bigger stakes, right? Than am I going to win this multiple offer situation?
Right.
I mean, that probably feels like a huge thing sometimes when you got people getting killed. That's a little bit more pressure, maybe.
Little,
If
yeah.
you can handle that, you could probably sell some real estate, right?
Probably could sell anything.
And if you learn these tactics, you can probably be even better at negotiations and selling real estate. And so it's just a super interesting book about how he went in and he debated and negotiated with Harvard professors and like the world's foremost experts on negotiation and people who'd written books on it and stuff. And he just absolutely stymied them. It was incredible. And it's a super simple methodology. And I think it's one of the books, and there's a handful of books, the Miracle Morning and the 12-Week Year and Essentialism. And I think I'm going to add this to the list of ones that I just read.
So I got to read it. So you're
at
telling
least
me.
once a year. It's just
You
I
read
think
all
it's
those books
foundational.
once a year?
Yeah,
Wow.
at least. Well, Audible. Let's be fair.
I was going to ask you. I mean, are we listening or are we reading?
Sometimes I read them and sometimes I Audible.
So it's called Don't Split the Difference?
Never Split the Difference.
Never Split the Difference.
Yeah, and then the other thing going on is I started Aikido, and I've just always been intrigued by it. I've taken a lot of martial arts. Aikido is something it's fascinated me, and I found this little hole in the wall at the Boys and Girls Club in Granite Falls. This guy, and it's like me and 4 ninja black belts, and it's.
Are
crazy.
you a ninja black belt?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm like the young whippersnapper white belt. Who's,
Are you?
Yeah, they get to practice throwing around.
Awesome.
But no, it's great, and it's funny because it's more about a methodology and kind of the mindset even than the physicality of it, and it's permeating into every area of my life, and it's fascinating. I love it.
That's so cool. That's so you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like I have to CrossFit so that I'm in so much pain and focusing on breathing that I can't think about anything else because I'm like yoga, you go and try and be peaceful and do yoga.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't. I can't do that. I'm not peaceful.
I do yoga now too.
You do?
I found a great place.
Is it hot yoga?
Falls now.
Oh.
No. Well, I sweat a lot, but it's not supposed to be hot
It's
yoga.
like hot yoga, but it's not actually. Oh my gosh. Well, gosh, thank you guys so much for tuning into our show. I hope that you found the information valuable, informative. I hope you guys really enjoyed listening about Friends of Youth and Travis. If you want to find out about any of our guests, we would love to hear from you too if you have suggestions for the show, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Message us on Facebook.
Yep, find us
The
on
Real
Facebook.
Deal radio show. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of KKNW, its management, or other advertisers. Contests are the responsibility of the host of this program and not KKNW. This is Alternative Talk 1150 AM, KKNW Seattle, and KNUC 98.9 HD3 Seattle.
Good afternoon. Eric Ryder here with you on Alternative Talk.